Today's, this week's Torah portion is V'yet Shev, and it's the portion in which Joseph has a bunch of dreams. He's sold into slavery and ends up in Egypt. Tamar becomes a widow twice and ends up deceiving Judah to become pregnant. And then we return to the Joseph narrative, and he ends up in jail when Potiphar's wife lies about his behavior. So my first confession about this Torah portion is I was reading it and at the same time singing Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in my head. I couldn't get it out of my head. And one of the things that I thought about doing today was simply playing that and not doing a devar. But
play Elvis.
But I decided that I really wanted to focus on dreams. So dreams are important, both the awake ones and the asleep ones. Both Joseph and Tamar have dreams. Joseph has dreams while he's asleep, and he can interpret his and other people's dreams pretty effectively. Tamar has a different kind of dream. It's a dream that she has for herself and for her life. Joseph remarks in the portion that dream interpretation comes from God, and he doesn't seem to have any real personal agency about what happens to him in his life as it relates to his dreams. Tamar wants to save her position in society and become a mother. Her first husband, Judah's eldest son, dies, so Judah gives her his next-born son, as was the Levirate custom. He also dies. Judah then sends her childless to her father's home and withholds his youngest son from her. Tamar takes matters into her own hands and deceives Judah, and he ends up providing her with exactly what she wants, a pregnancy, and the result of that pregnancy was twins. Martin Luther King had a famous speech, the I Have a Dream speech. In it, he was looking toward a future where people are evaluated on the basis of their character, not their skin color. Our dreams, our awake dreams, provide us with a goal or a purpose. So how can we look to the future without dreams? I mean, they can be big dreams like Martin Luther King's, really lofty, or simple dreams like the dream that I have of being able to travel this summer. It's not such a big dream, not so lofty, but it's a dream. So one of the big challenges for us is balancing between dreaming for a future we want and doing what we can to ensure that happens. And on the other hand, not being so attached to the outcome of what that ends up really looking like. So I'm reminded, I had movies and theater on my brain. I was reminded of the movie Under the Tuscan Sun. And my memory, and I haven't seen the movie in many years, was that the primary character wanted to renovate a villa in Tuscany and imagined finding a new love in her life. She was newly divorced in a very ugly, horrible divorce for her, and creating a gorgeous villa and having a beautiful wedding there, and it should be her wedding, and it was just going to be this wonderful, wonderful thing. In the end, she isn't the one who gets married at the villa. She created a loving community and hosts a really joyous wedding at the villa for a young couple from the community. She really manifested what she wanted, to be surrounded by love and to have this great villa that was going to be a central gathering place. But it didn't turn out the way she had pictured it. So the challenge that we have to face is to have a dream and to be open-minded and accepting as it unfolds in unpredictable ways. So I'm going to encourage us to take our seats, and as we sit and really feel ourselves supported by our chair, and remembering that dream of Jacob's ladder, and rising up, having our head reaching up to the heavens. So the ladder, just like our bottoms, are firmly planted on the ground, and the ladder lifts up through us to the heavens. And as we sit today, you may want to allow yourself to dream a little. What are your dreams for yourself in a really personal way, or for yourself in a bigger way, in a more communal way? And are you able to dream without attachment to how it really unfolds? So we'll sit in silence for about 10 minutes. So as you're coming back to the room, I'm going to share a poem with you that I think has to do with dreams. When I am an old woman, I shall wear purple, with a red hat which doesn't go and doesn't suit me. I shall spend my pension on brandy and summer gloves and satin sandals and say we've no money for butter. I shall sit down on the pavement when I'm tired and gobble up samples in shops and press alarm bells and run my stick along the public railings and make up for the sobriety of my youth. I shall go out in my slippers in the rain and pick flowers in other people's gardens and learn to spit. You can wear terrible shirts and grow more fat and eat 3 pounds of sausage at a go, or only bread and pickle for a week, and hoard pens and pencils and beer mats and things in boxes. But now we must have clothes that keep us dry and pay our rent and not swear in the street and set a good example for the children. We must have friends to dinner and read the papers. But maybe I ought to practice a little now, so people who know me aren't too shocked and surprised when suddenly I am old and I start to wear purple. So I just think that we need to know what our dreams are. Sometimes they're just about wearing purple.